I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I never thought I would see the day. It's crazy that I'm even making a video about this. I never thought I would see the day that what the skate industry has become. The skate industry has become what they've always seemed to hate. And that's YouTube, that's social media, that's being an influencer. The skate industry is now, at least the majority of it, is now trying or doing YouTube. And you guys don't understand how crazy that is to me as I'll say OG, a veteran to being a skate YouTuber, because we were one of the first people to start doing it. And to see how all these core industry pros, at least a good handful, are doing it now, and it's more acceptable and kind of like mandatory to do it, it's crazy to me. So I wanted to make a video about that. And in this video, I'm gonna talk about how they used to put us through a lot of bullshit, I would say, and treat us like we were circus animals and should not be a part of the industry, and how they used to kind of like make us feel or separate us from the skate world. I'm gonna use me as a perfect example though, as one of them, because I was doing the YouTube stuff, but I was also sponsored by, I guess you would say, some core companies, and still doing the core requirements like street parts and stuff. But it was a battle, so I was in both worlds. We'll speak on that, and we're gonna speak about other YouTubers and what they went through on it, and then the skaters that were in the core industry, the ones that are doing it now. And the first thing I want to start off with is, am I happy about this? That these pro skaters or the skate industry is accepting YouTube now and doing YouTube now, when they used to pit us through a lot of bullshit? And first of all, I'm gonna say I am very excited about it, and I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna keep this part short, but the reason is, I'm keeping it short because I feel like the other things I mentioned that I'm gonna talk about is way more important than this. But I am happy about it because of obvious reasons. It's gonna bring skateboarding, it's gonna put skateboarding out to more of a reach, because they're using platforms like YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, whatever's out there, that's social media that they used to hate, to push the thing we all love, which is skateboarding. And I used to hate that they look down upon people doing YouTube and trying to push what we love. And obviously we was doing like probably skits or super personality type of content, but it would get it to a bigger reach, and it would make other people start skating, which would build the community of skating. It's, to me, I was like, y'all niggas wanna die? Y'all niggas wanna die like the rollerblade companies? Like, what the fuck? And I'm like, y'all go let the scooter companies take over. I don't know too much about the scooter industry, but I see a lot of scooter dudes doing the fucking YouTube, and I don't think they were tripping on them, and there was a lot of them popping from that. All right, let's speak about how they used to blacklist us from the skate industry. They used to make us feel like circus animals, where we were freaks to the skate world. That's how I would put it. And before I say that real quick, I am going to mention the pro skaters, the industry skaters that are doing it now, that I'm surprised that's doing it. And again, I'm not mad at them. You know, I can't vouch for them specifically on some of them, that they were really thinking this mindset, but I'm sure they were, because there was a lot of things they were putting us through. Not them specifically, just the companies and stuff like that. But let's talk about it. The way they would, I hope I'm saying this word right, y'all know I'll be fucking up on words, exile us or whatever, just keep us away from the industry. And I kind of get it to a certain extent, but the way, like, how can I say this? And again, this is just raw speaking. Y'all just bear with me. I'm just, you know, it's not scripted. I'm just talking off the dome. Like, what didn't make sense to me was, I'm gonna mainly use me as an example for this whole series of talking. I was sponsored by Element. I was sponsored by Primitive Apparel when it was apparel at the time. I was like Rep Flow for Converse. And some other things like that. And I had a bunch of street parts out. I even had a street part with Primitive for Pain is Beauty. So, and that's a legit video. I remember Element sat me down, and I spoke about this in a podcast that's coming up. It's just one of the small things I spoke about in that podcast. We really go into depth that I'm gonna shout out soon. But I remember Element sat me down, and they were like, let me change my arm real quick. My bad, I'm holding my phone up and my arms is getting tired. But they told me one day, you know, I was on Element for a minute, and they told me, they sat me down. They were like, I was flow for them. They were like, hey, we're going to have a meeting with you. Come to the office. I come to the office, or I think I was already picking up some boards, and they told me to just come in the office and talk to them. So they sat me down. It's the team manager in there, the president of Element Camp, who, great dude, got me on Element Flow, and a few other people in there. I don't think the owner of Element at the time was in there. But anyways, we was up in there, and I'm thinking they gonna turn me amp. So it was the opposite of that. They were like, hey, if you want to move forward with the team, you're gonna have to stop doing a couple things. And they said, one, stop doing the music. And what bothered me with the music was, I understand, like, oh, this is a skate company. What are you doing music? What bothered me with the music was, I'm like, one of your pro skaters, Evan Smith, is in a whole ass rock band. I'm just doing hip hop. What's the situation with that? But that's not what this video is about. So they said that, and they told me to stop doing YouTube. And I'm like, y'all told me I need to get a following. I got to get known, and YouTube is the way to go. So I was always on Nigel Alexander's channel. And he's one of the OG skate YouTubers. He was filming all the skaters and doing the YouTube stuff. And just, you know, he was doing tricks on his channel, getting popular. He's the one who got me all these followers. It's jump-started my career. So shout out him. So they told me I need to stop doing YouTube. And it didn't make sense to me. And it was like, especially the skits, because I just started my channel and I started doing skits. I was one of the first people on YouTube as a skateboarder doing skits. I did a skit where I ollied off a curb and had everybody freaking out, picking me up and giving me a trophy and stuff like that, just over exaggerating the smallest things. So they told me to stop doing that. And I was like confused. And I was like, okay. And then they used Manny Santiago as an example too. Manny Santiago is a good dude. I've always known him for a long time. But they used him as an example of, don't brand yourself like him. And he was self-branding himself. And, you know, getting sponsors like Echo Unlimited or whatever, that was paying him some motherfucking money. And it was like, don't do stuff like that. Don't self-promote yourself like he does and things like that. So I'm like, okay, you don't want me to be on YouTube where I'm posting my own content, where I'm using your product and getting a fan base, and you don't want me to self-promote myself. And y'all not doing anything for me. It's not like they were like, oh, you're gonna be on the barracks, you're gonna do that, which I did on my own too, because I built a name with YouTube. They didn't do any of that, but we had to figure it out ourselves. But you couldn't do YouTube. Didn't make sense to me. So the reason why I'm telling you that is like, they were that strict. And I even accepted it. I was like, oh, you know what? There's just two sides to life with the skate stuff. The course side or YouTube. I guess I'm not really on the course side, but I still try to push through and do both, right? I remember not being on Element anymore eventually. And I don't have no bad blood with them or whatever. It just is what it is. But I remember going hard and feeling some type of way on a street park and doing my best skating ever, which was my 2014 street park. And I used that as a sponsor me. And what I noticed is either I was connected with somebody from a lot of different board companies where I could give them my sponsor me to the right person, or somebody I knew was. And I gave it to almost every board company to check out. And there was just this weird energy of not trying to put me on, if that makes sense, because of the whole, and I feel like it's because of the whole being on YouTube and being a skate YouTuber and stuff like that. It just was like a very obvious reason. They would just give me weird ass excuses like the team's too full. And then next week I'm hearing this other dude just got on it that has no influence, that's probably just as good as me or a little weaker skill wise and things like that. And yeah, we could say, oh, style counts, they probably want to style this and that. Nah, because nowadays they're sponsoring YouTubers. And you might be like, Lamont, you're bitter, you're salty, you sound like a hater right now, you sound like you're just mad because they didn't accept you. Hell yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm upset about it. Because now I'm seeing the people they told me to be like, trying to be like us. And I'm not saying they're looking up to us or anything like that. But trying to be like us, meaning we put a lot of hard work into this YouTube stuff. It's more than just posting. It takes a lot to learn how to edit good. It takes a lot to get to that personality. And, you know, that doesn't just happen out of nowhere. You're not just You can naturally have personality, but it still grows. It takes years for that. And just figuring out the concepts and trial and error, blood and tears, whatever the fuck the saying is, of going through the struggles of trying to build a YouTube channel and a presence on social media and keep your fans entertained. So y'all telling me to be like these motherfuckers. And again, I don't have nothing against them personally. But then, now these motherfuckers is trying to do what we was already doing, and that's YouTube. And we're gonna speak on those people right now. And again, like I said, I'm hyped that I'm seeing this. I would love to collab with them one day or whatever on YouTube and just skate around with them. We want to build a community even more. But it's just crazy to see like Miles Silva doing YouTube right now. And again, a lot of these people probably aren't as consistent as they could be, but I see they're posting and doing vlogs, and that's crazy to see. P-Rod. P-Rod is a weird one to speak on because P-Rod was kind of always on people's YouTube channels, and he kind of had his own, and he was always like the GOAT, so he could do anything, but now he's going super in on doing YouTube. Who else? I've seen Cater. Cater's a crazy one for me to see do YouTube. He had a couple vlogs out. I don't know how consistent he's trying to do, maybe once a month or something. The Dern brothers. I didn't know much about them until they started doing YouTube, but what's crazy to me about them is they're sponsored by Zero or Pro for Zero or whatever. And I know for a fact, at least back then, that company was not fucking with YouTubers. And I could be wrong, but Zero does not seem like the company. If Element was talking like that, Zero had to be talking like that. But now they're doing it. And granted, they're doing it, to me, they're doing it the best way that a skateboarder can do it. They're doing it awesome. It's like a TV show. They even got Bam Margera popping in it like crazy. Who else? Tom Astor. Now with Tom Astor, back in the day, I don't know if he remembers, but when I was really doing YouTube when I was younger, him and Felipe Gustavo were at the Green Ledges. I used to skate there a lot. And I asked both of them, I was like, hey, I wasn't scared to ask people shit, but I was a little nervous. I was like, hey, you guys down to do a clip for my video I'm doing right now? Thinking they might say no, but I was like, why not? Let me try to get some popular skaters up in there. They said yeah. And they went in. They did some bangers, and I always remember that. I was like, y'all respect Felipe Gustavo and Tom Aston. Because usually other skaters, core industry skaters, would be like, nah, I'm good, or ask some excuse. Because they're worried about how the industry would look at them for being in another YouTuber's video, especially one that's kind of known at the time. So Tom Astor is doing it now. When I saw that, he's probably one of the most hyped. I would consider him a core skater in the industry for sure. He's one of the most that I got hyped on doing the YouTube stuff. I'm like, yeah, and this motherfucker is killing it. He's consistent, doing crazy tricks, and he knows how to do it right. Like, I feel like he was meant for that shit. He should have did that shit earlier, but better late than never. And I'm hyped on that one. Who else? People like Nigel Houston, and again, that nigga's like the Kobe of skateboarding, so he can do whatever the fuck he wants, but it's crazy how Element was telling me to stop doing YouTube, and Nigel's doing YouTube like crazy now. Like, got it. Anyways, him, Moose. Now, Moose is a good homie and stuff. I'm glad Moose is doing it because I know he went through some crazy shit with the skate industry, so I'm glad he's doing it now. And he gets to see that, you know, you can do it yourself, make it happen, and fuck these niggas that's telling you otherwise, that doesn't have no love for you. So I'm glad he's doing that. Manny Santiago, he's always been kind of doing YouTube, but he was kind of not taking it too serious. I remember telling him, like, bro, you need to fucking do this shit. And now he's really doing it, so I'm really hyped on him doing it too. But Manny's like how I feel about myself a little bit, but just more in a higher level. He was in the skate world and also doing the influencer stuff too and battling both. And now he's like hosting Street League, being in Street League, doing shit like that. This nigga killing it. And he never stopped doing that. And they were telling me to stop doing what he's doing. Make it make sense. And one other one I want to bring up too is Keen Ramps. Now I know that seems random, but it's still crazy to me that a ramp company's the foundation of skateboarding, the people that make the skate things are doing it. It makes sense, it's amazing. But back in the day, I would never thought they would have been doing YouTube, if that makes sense. It's just crazy to me, y'all. And like, they used to use Revive, Braille as an example of like, don't be like them. I remember there's this story, and I could be getting it wrong if you guys Any of you guys know about it? I forgot what company, maybe it was Thrasher, I don't know what it was. It was like a whole premiere or a meeting, and they put a picture of like Revive on a projector or something, and everybody started booing, apparently, allegedly. This is what I heard from a few people. And the dude was like, what are they doing that we're not doing? And this was a while ago, and they were like, they told everybody and they shut everybody up. They were like, they're doing the YouTube stuff. They're doing the social media stuff. They're selling out more than everybody. Revive was selling more boards than anybody off of just YouTube. And them niggas aren't good at all at skateboarding, but they make skateboarding look fun. And when I say they ain't good at all at skateboarding compared to Thrasher and shit, them niggas is weak. And Thrasher is busting a motherfucking ass. And they're selling more boards than you. That's crazy. So that's just amazing. And then with Braille, I know there's a whole lot of bullshit happening with Braille or whatever, sadly. But let's just not think about that bullshit and let's talk about the past. What confused me about Braille is these niggas are teaching people how to skate. They brought so many people into this world, into skateboarding. Nigel, Uzi, Ricky, all of them, everybody that was in that motherfucker, just by them making those videos and teaching people how to skate, brought little kids into it, which keeps skateboarding alive. And niggas is mad because they posted on YouTube. That being said, I'm not gonna keep yapping y'all ears off or whatever. I'm gonna actually go to a skate park and skate, but that's gonna be in a video after this. If y'all got anything from this video, just do what you want to do. There might be something else that's coming up in the future that we don't know about that YouTubers might think down on, or whatever, the skate industry still might think down on. And if you have that gut feeling and you're benefiting off of it and you're good at it, do it. Don't listen to what anybody else is saying. Do what's best for you and be your own person and go crazy. And always respect people. You feel me? Always do that. Because one thing that I hated is there was YouTubers who didn't respect people, and there was a lot of people in the skate industry who didn't respect people. Don't be one of them. Comment below too who's doing YouTube right now that was, you know, a pro skater or in the skate industry or whatever. And show them some love in the comments. 111, I appreciate y'all. Subscribe. I'll see you on the next video.